all of our guests. We are pleased and Prima Berhan. So let's give a big round of applause to Prima Berhan. So he's sharing with us. Allow me to introduce our media Prima. Let's welcome. Let's welcome Mr. Nicholas Saika.
Hi, good afternoon. Sorry, gotta get my slide up. All right, so I'm gonna talk about something probably of a norm today. When I spoke to my bosses, they said speak about something different because it's a community of content creator. So, as you said on my slide, I'm going to talk about esports and how it has grown in a space not just globally, also in Malaysia, and how content creator can get involved in this space. So, before I start, anyone play games here? Anyone play games? Okay, don't lie. Anyone play games here? Anyone plays Mobile Legends? Candy Crush?
Yeah.
Fever, Cookie Fever, Thunder Dash. Okay, right. So in general, everyone's playing games, so we're up to a good start. Okay, just to give you a bit of fact. So this esports thing industry globally has grown pretty enormous, right? So in 2018, like you see in the slide, there's 2.3 billion money made from games, from game publisher, advertisers, game maker, and so forth. And obviously, there's a lot of money, prize money that's put into the game. And the market sort of in general thinks that it's going to grow pretty big, and that's why a lot of interest is being put into esports. Now in Malaysia, in the last 6 months, there are about 3.3 million prize money pool has been put together to any gamers who's playing in any one of the tournament now. So take note, this is only prize money, right? We haven't even put together the production money that actually put behind the tournament, getting the marshal, getting the game, and obviously there's a lot of in-app purchase being done on the in-app purchase. Obviously the biggest one before the KL Major last weekend was the ESL one good thing that was happening for I think the second year this year, right? There's also a lot of tournament that's happening across the country in the last 3 to 4 years or so. Now, why esports, right? Esports, basically, I just said when I asked you a question just now, who plays game? Esports is about games and about gamers, right? Game is something addictive, engaging, where you basically play against each other. When you want to beat somebody, you can't beat them up like real time. Then you can go online. You can beat the person up on the side. And obviously, it's a multi-billion business, right? There's a lot of things happening around the game publishing, the game production, and obviously the teams themselves when they compete. And in the case of Malaysia, it's growing so fast because the mobile penetration in Malaysia has been really growing really fast, because we're one of those countries that actually go mobile first versus other countries that actually do desktop first, then they go mobile on the side. So this is pretty much like some of the overview of why esports is becoming so big in the last years. So in Malaysia, it's quite interesting. Obviously, I just said just now, we had our first major tournament, which is ESL. And in general, in Malaysia today, I think every weekend, you will find an esports tournament, right? One weekend, my esports team actually told me a few weeks ago, on one weekend itself, there are about 13 esports tournaments happening across Malaysia. And that's a huge number, and there's a lot of things that can be done around that. And a lot of brands are getting involved as well. And obviously, our handsome minister has been talking about esports a lot in the last month. Is coming on the picture, and it's really interesting because a lot of the problem we had with esports industry today is that there's no governance to it, right? Everyone can create a tournament, and when any tournament group creates a tournament that's not governed, you have a lot of problems. Like for example, they don't pay the player, they don't do a proper accommodation, etc., etc. So we're really, in the esports industry as a whole, I think everyone is a bit quite excited to have the government talking about esports. Now, there's a lot of infrastructure improvement as well. I think you have, I think in KL today you have about 3 centers of esports that's open to people to can actually play esports without looking like gamblers, right? There's one in Subang, and it's really nice place. You can chill. There's like private place, you know, and so forth. So you can actually try. So a lot of the time, a lot of these places has pretty good internet connection, and then a lot of the brand can actually invest and actually do the tournament there on the side. Now, for us in Midafrima, we've invested quite a bit of esports in the last 13 months. So our main goal in Midafrima is to basically help the local esports industry. So recently we actually did an MOU together with Kitaman. Kitaman is one of those big esports organizers in Malaysia, and they have a lot of dojo around Malaysia as well. And also together with KBS and of course the MDEC in esports. Right. So a lot of things that we also find out from esports is that there's not a lot of content created in this space. Because when I say content creation, it's that, you know, stream, you know, review of gamers, review of tournament, and so forth. Now, as Midafrima, what we want to be able to do is basically use our reach to basically push content and push marketing of esports using all of our assets in the group. And one of our biggest pushes, because we have also quite a big reach of our digital. So right now we are about the number three largest digital publisher in Malaysia, just behind Facebook and Google, with about 10 million unique visitors. And that's when we started MyGameOn. MyGameOn is our esports platform. We launched in 2017. Now it's got about almost a million users on the platform. Now, how MyGameOn works is basically we create content. We would like to create as much content as possible together internally, and also work with the game content developer like you guys. And how we use it, basically we will use our asset like SAYS, Metro, or even NTV7 and NTV to actually show it, bring it to the mainstream audience. Right? So I'm going to give you some example of how content I created on esports. The first one is obviously, anyone have seen an esports tournament before? No? Right, great. So it's obviously like, you know, so this boy is a 19-year-old boy. He won 5,000 that weekend because of the tournament. But what we're trying to show is basically what you can actually localize a lot of this content for local audience.
Oh my goodness! And I guess that's it. That's it. And there you go.
Because it was quite fun, and we had the 2 guys commentator. They've never done TV before, and together with our PWS team, we actually trained them how to do commentator for TV. But obviously, as they got time along, they got carried away, and there's a lot of exciting things that they said in the tournament. Okay, so that's just like level playing field, right? So over in US or especially in China, esports has created a lot of hype because of the production behind it. Right? In the case of this one, this is not my Midafrima, but I'm giving you some example. This was done for the League of Legends World Championship Finals in Beijing. Right? So prior to the finals, which all the country came and compete, League of Legends, which is Riot, who owns the content, basically created a thematic campaign that has Jess Charles singing the song to the final trailer. I'm going to show you some video, and towards the end you'll see how big the tournament is, and I'll give you some example of things that we can actually do together. So prior to that, they had the trailer, and they actually overlay Jess Charles' song behind it. And this video, you can actually go online. It's got almost like 10 million video views on it. And it's quite interesting because it's just a game, right? But it's got a lot of traction with the viewership. So you can hear me right in the background. So that's the thematic they ran 2 months before the campaign. But on the final day itself, they actually used the Beijing Bird Nest Stadium to do the final, right? So you can watch the video from the front and how they brought the music in and how the competition started. Can you put the last sound a bit louder? So the game is only created by Ryan.
League has become a different language.
So they took videos of the finalists talking about why they play these sports and how it brings them all together.
I completely changed from being a shy kid that couldn't really see a future for himself and just gave my life a direction.
I was just so focused on getting better.
And in a lot of time, the players have not met themselves before they go to the final because they can play anywhere around the world and they meet up during the on-ground event itself.
This thing with the community on the level that League has with anything else in the world.
전 세계에 있는 팬들분들이 정말 언어도 다르고 다 다르지만 똑같이 리그 오브 레전드를 사랑하고
And that's the final stadium, so it's like a few 100,000 people watching the finals. I fast forward a bit. So Jay Chou did obviously the Chinese version, Mandarin version of that, and they actually had an English version of that, and also sang by a popular rock band from the US. Brought the dragon into VR and came into the stadium. I mean, obviously you watch it, when you watch the live stream, you can watch this. So this is how they mix the game element to the final and make it quite, obviously, very interesting. And the dragon is made in Puchong, by the way, I think online. Anyone know of Passion Republic? The game studio? They created the dragon, which is quite very we're very proud as Malaysian to have it. The first time we read about it, we tak percaya lah. So I called Azlul from MDEC saying I had this on the side. Yeah, so just to end our presentation, I think what we would like to do as Media Prima, as we go into the space of sports, we would like to see a lot more content developer creating content and around localized idea, right? So there's a lot of already international game content or so forth on reviews and so forth, but we have lack of you don't know me. Probably you don't know me very well. My boss Izam is here, so you can just tell Izam we want to create content for esports. Then we can do something together. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Our speaker, Mr.